Every person goes through at least one night in life where they're the one walking, but the path chooses where it wants to take them. My name's Armin, and the story I'm about to tell you isn't technically mine, but it's written into my blood, because this story belongs to my grandfather, a story he never fully understood till the day he died. He'd go quiet whenever it came up, his eyes sinking into some old exhaustion, like his memories slipped out of his heart and dragged him back to a moment he never escaped. My grandpa was a regular man, hardworking, simple, a little stubborn. Leaving the village for the city to study wasn't easy, but his dreams were too big for him to complain. Every morning at 5 a.m. he'd get up and hit the road, a long, narrow path lined with trees, just close enough to the woods to feel wrong. The ground was damp, the trees tall, and the air had this weird coldness that felt like it breathed on your neck. And at night, nights were a whole different story. The darkness in the village didn't just fall, it swallowed everything. Half the things around you didn't even look real anymore. Trees changed shape, rocks grew shadows that moved on their own, and sometimes it felt like the road curved differently than before. Grandpa used to tell me, "Armin, the dark in the village ain't like the dark in the city. City darkness fights the lights. Village darkness fights the man walking in it." The walk to college wasn't the problem. It was the walk back home. The silence was so heavy that sometimes he felt like even his breathing was too loud. But then one night, something changed. That night, he saw that dog for the first time. Small, skinny, like it hadn't eaten in days, but weirdly clean. Its eyes were calm still, almost too focused. No barking, no growling, no typical stray dog behavior. It just walked behind him, not too close, not too far, like an old friend who loved you in a quiet, uncomfortable way. At first, Grandpa thought, "Poor thing must be lonely." But the second night, it was there again. And the third. Then every night after that. Whenever someone came to pick Grandpa up, the dog vanished. In the mornings, no sign of it. During the day, nobody had ever seen a dog like that. It only showed up at night. And only when Grandpa was alone. Grandpa said, that dog was tied to the darkness somehow, like his life ran on some secret clock. Slowly, Grandpa started noticing more weird things. The dog never sniffed the ground like strays normally do. It walked in a perfectly straight line, like it already knew the exact path Grandpa would take. Like it wasn't scared of the dark, but the dark was scared of it. It never looked hungry, never looked dirty, never restless, just a silent piece of every night. One night, Grandpa gathered the courage to stop and look back. The dog stopped too. Its eyes glowed just a little in the dark, but not like an animal's eyes, more like it was trying to understand him. Like it didn't have a voice, but it still knew how to talk. Grandpa felt uneasy. The walk seemed longer. The air between the trees felt tighter. Sometimes it felt like something else was out there, something watching him, but too scared or too smart to step forward. Grandpa told me, "Armin, that dog watched me like, if I fell down, he wouldn't help me up. He'd make damn sure I wouldn't get up." Then came that night. The night Grandpa never forgot. He left college a little late. The darkness was thicker than usual. The air had this weird, suffocating warmth, the kind that happens when the wind is moving, but the earth is holding its breath. The road was empty. The trees were still. The water in the fields wasn't even rippling. And then Grandpa felt it. Something following him. Not a dog. Heavy breathing. Slow movement. A body that didn't walk, it dragged. Creeping. Scraping. Too slow to be human. Too steady to be an animal. Grandpa sped up. The breathing behind him sped up too. He turned around, nothing. But then the dog appeared, standing right in front of him, blocking his path, staring at him like it was warning him. "Don't you dare move. Don't you look back," Grandpa said. For the first time, I saw fear in that dog's eyes. Like it wasn't scared of me. It was scared for me. Then the dog stepped closer. So close Grandpa could feel its breath. And in that moment, he understood something. The dog didn't come to keep him company. It came to protect him from something that didn't walk at night. It slid through the darkness. Something that had been standing right behind him, watching. But the real nightmare started the night the dog didn't show up. And what came in its place wasn't a dog, wasn't a person, wasn't something that belonged to the world Grandpa knew at all. Dada never imagined that the dog disappearing would turn into the biggest bad omen of his life. Every night, that dog was always there, under that same old tree, quiet, still, watching his path with those unreadable eyes. But that night, the spot was completely empty. And the weirdest part, the air wasn't moving at all, like the whole ground was waiting for something. For the first time, Dada felt like some protective shield had been ripped off him. His footsteps didn't feel light tonight. Every step felt like he was sinking, like the earth was trying to hold him back. Dada used to say, Armin, that night felt different. There was this dry, heavy vibe in the air, like the wind wasn't blowing, but you could still feel it breathing. When he walked past the tree, he felt like someone was staring at the back of his eyes. He spun around instantly, but nothing was there. Only that old tree, and under it, instead of the dog, just a weird patch of scraped-up dirt, like something had clawed at the ground. For a second, he thought the dog might show up. But time kept passing, and there wasn't a single trace of it. He kept walking, and that's when he heard the breathing again. Low, heavy, wet. Right behind him. So close it felt like something could feel the pulse in his neck. He tried focusing his eyes in the dark. Nothing was visible, but the breathing was real. And it didn't sound human, but it didn't sound like any animal either. It was like some long, stretched-out thing was moving without touching the ground, leaving only its breath behind. Dada said, that breath wasn't cold, it was warm, like it didn't belong to anything alive but something buried. He picked up his pace. The breathing picked up too. He started running. The breathing ran with him. And for the first time, he realized he wasn't alone. Something was right behind him, so close it felt like its presence was brushing past his shoulder. Dada suddenly stopped, and the breathing behind him stopped too. Same moment, same second. Like whatever was following him, its movements were tied to his. He exhaled slowly, and in that single breath, the darkness stole the air from his lungs. Because for the first time, he saw it. At the edge of his vision, between the trees, a pale shape, long like a stretched shadow, sliding back behind a tree. Dada said, it wasn't tall like a human and not small like a dog. Its height, nothing that size should exist on this earth. The thing was moving hunched over, like its body had been broken and reassembled wrong, and every twitch of it made its bones shiver. Dada's blood froze. The thing slowly slid out from behind the tree and lifted its face. It wasn't a face, just a pale, warped surface, like the darkness had swallowed someone whole and spit out the shape of fear. That night, Dada realized that dog wasn't his shadow. It was protecting him from something that lived between those trees, something that watched him every night. But the dog stood between them like a wall. Now that wall was gone. He thought of running, but his body refused to move. The thing drifted onto the path. Its body wasn't touching the ground, it was floating, half alive, half buried. Then it straightened, painfully slow, and took the longest, deepest, most exhausted breath he had ever heard. So deep it felt like it came from under the earth. What Dada felt in that moment was the most raw terror of his life. He said, "Armin, no human should ever hear that breath." It had hunger in it, like it was seeing a living thing for the first time. The thing moved toward him, and when only 2 steps were left, from far away, very far, a faint, tired whimper sounded, like a worn-out dog lowering its head, but still alive. Dada recognized that sound. The dog had come back, and the moment it arrived, the thing stopped. No forward, no backward, just froze. The dog slowly walked onto the path. Its eyes weren't calm this time. There was something else in them. Like even it feared that thing, but still stood between Dada and it. It looked straight at Dada, like saying, "Run, this time I won't be able to hold it back." But what happened next was only the beginning, because the next day Dada would discover the thing didn't stop at the road. It had followed him all the way home. Dada ran for his life that night. The dog stayed between him and that thing, but Dada knew even the dog couldn't hold it back forever. How do you stop something that breathes but ain't alive? That night the road home felt endless. The trees looked taller, the ground dragged at his steps, and again he felt that pale shape following behind. But every time he turned, nothing. Just empty road. When he finally reached home, he noticed something strange. His clothes smelled like dirt. Not regular dirt, grave dirt. Amma only said, "You look tired, just sleep." Dada nodded, but sleep wasn't about to let him go. When he entered his room that night, something felt wrong. The room was the same. Small window, old wooden bed, cold air brushing the walls. But tonight the room didn't have air. It had weight, like something was waiting for him in it. He lay down, and the moment he closed his eyes, that breath came back to him. Its length, its hunger, its warmth. That breath refused to leave him alone, like the darkness had moved inside him. Dada said, "Armin, that night the room wasn't mine anymore. It belonged to something else." Whether sleep came or not didn't matter. He couldn't close his eyes. But a man can't stay awake forever. After a while, his eyelids got heavy. And somewhere far off, he heard that same breath again. This time the breath was inside the room. His eyes snapped open. The room looked normal. But the breath was right next to him. Like someone was hiding under the bed. Like the bones of some long body were tapping softly. Trying to stay calm, He let his feet hang down, and instantly he felt the floor wasn't cold. It was warm, like something heavy, like a sack of grain, was lying right there on the ground. Dada said. I yanked my feet back up. I've never felt fear like that in my life. The floor didn't feel like floor, it felt like someone's breath. Then for a split second, he felt the bed move. Just a little. Like someone underneath had lifted the frame and let it drop again. He held his breath. His heartbeat got so loud, even the silence stepped back. Then the breathing stopped. The room went completely dead silent. Dry. Still. Like nothing existed there at all. But Dada knew this silence. This was the kind that comes right before something big. He exhaled slowly. And that's when he heard it. Someone was saying his name. Slow. Long. Dragging like a voice melted into itself. Dada froze. That voice wasn't human. Or animal. It didn't have words. Only the exhaustion of a body that shouldn't move. A kind of tiredness that was alive, but still kept going. He squeezed his eyes shut. He felt the voice moving closer to his ear. And after a few seconds, he realized it wasn't saying his name. It was saying the name of some kid from the village. A kid who had gone missing just a few days ago. In that moment, Dada understood everything. That thing learns names. And once it learns your name, it never lets you go. His throat was dry. He felt the room getting colder. But inside that cold was a strange warmth. Like something was breathing. But not something alive. Something like wet soil. Then, for the first time, Dada saw it. In the corner of the room, buried in the black, a pale shape. At first like a letter, then like a breath, then like the long shape of a human body, bent upward and fused into the ceiling. The thing slowly began rising toward him, like peeling itself off the ground, building itself only for him. Dada tried to scream, but no sound came out. The pale shape lifted its face. No eyes, no mouth, not even the hint of lips. Just a blank lost surface, like something tried to copy a human face, but got stuck halfway. And then, it started moving toward Dada. He realized something in that moment. It wasn't walking. It was floating, following the trail of his breath. Like it could smell souls. Like it was hunting for whatever a human is made of inside. But the real horror came when Dada understood. The thing wasn't looking at him. It was looking at something else. Something it would soon learn the names of. His family. Dada had figured it out. That thing didn't hunt by seeing. It hunted by hearing. If it remembered someone's breath, their heartbeat, their voice, their name, it became a part of that person, part of their soul, and nothing could pull it away after that. That night, Dada didn't tell anyone what he saw in the room. People in the village would laugh or freak out. But Dada knew. If he talked about it, that thing would learn someone else's name. And once it gets a name, you don't get it back. At sunrise, Dada walked outside. His knees weak, eyes red, breath heavy. Emma asked, "Did you sleep all right?" Dada just nodded, but his hands were still cold. like he was still trapped under the breath of that pale creature. That day, Dada decided to visit the oldest man in the village, Haji Karim, a man with a rough breath and older stories with more fear than truth. But Dada didn't care anymore. He told him everything. The old man stayed silent a long time. Then he said, "That thing isn't human, not animal. It's older than the days when people used to open graves to see why bodies kept moving inside them. That thing isn't made of dirt. It's made from the breaths of people who survive while terrified." Dada's chest sank. The old man continued, "When fear gives something a shape, it starts looking for a body to fit into. You've seen it. You gave it breath. Now it's going to learn your name." Dada panicked. "What do I do?" The old man shut his eyes. "Don't let anyone in your home call your name. If someone calls you, don't answer. It memorizes your voice through your reply." Dada bowed his head, not knowing the real danger was just beginning. That night the house was dead silent. Everyone stayed in their rooms. Dada sat in the corner, staring at the ceiling. He felt like something was stretched across the walls, like a long shadow hanging in the cold. Night deepened. No dogs barked. No voice whispered. Just silence. Silence in which Dada felt his own name melting. Then, from somewhere outside, someone called his name. Thin, dry, barely a whisper. "Major." Dada froze. His heart stopped for a beat. The voice wasn't coming from outside the house. It was coming from inside, right behind the door, like someone was standing on the other side of the wall. "Major." Dada held back tears. He knew answering meant letting that thing inside him. The voice grew a little deeper. Major opened the door. He pressed his lips shut, closed his eyes, held his breath, but the voice didn't stop. Now it sounded exactly like his mother calling him. Exactly. Same tone, same gentle pull. His heart shattered. "Major, it's me." Opened the door. There was love in that voice, a mother's spirit in it. But Dada knew his mother was asleep, and no mother calls her son like that in the dead of night. He stayed silent, fear shaking him, memories pulling him toward the door. Suddenly, the voice stopped. Silence. Then slowly, so slowly, something started climbing down from the ceiling. A long-bodied figure, pale, a face half human, half something else. And the worst part, its lips were moving, trying to shape a word, trying to say a name it had fully learned. Dada's sanity broke. The room wasn't cold anymore. It was filled with his own breath. The creature came right up to him, and then it said the full word for the first time. "Major." His whole body turned to stone. That voice wasn't fully human nor fully earth. Like the memory of someone long dead had revived inside rotten soil. The thing paused, as if deciding, how should I claim this body? Dada realized he couldn't run, because once the creature learns your name, your soul binds to it. Souls don't snap apart. They just dissolve slowly. He gathered what courage he had, and said the line Haji Karim had taught him. I'm not yours. You can't call me. The creature froze. Its pale body swayed slightly, like wind returning with bad intentions. Then it slowly lowered its long head and began to leave the room. Dada thought maybe it was gone. Maybe he survived. But before leaving, it said one last thing, and the blood in Dada's veins turned to ice. I'm going to learn someone else's name. This house has many names. The next morning, everyone in the house was there, except one person, and the name that thing took with it was hanging on the door, like a torn piece of clothing.